My marriage was a success.
Yeah.
I look at it as like a curriculum. And at the end of that curriculum, and at the end, there's a graduation.
I do have a feeling and a sense of freedom following my divorce.
Don't want to be alone, you know. So when I'm going through these challenges, sometimes you want to go back.
Rivah TV. What's up, guys? It's your girl Rivah, and I'm back again with another video. Now, guys, I know you guys must think that I can't wait to talk about Mowry again when something unfolds. And that's really not the case.
Can't do nothing without y'all saying something.
But sometimes I just feel like we have to have deep dive conversations, and based off of a lot of the things that have been out there in the public about her divorce and her graduation and all these things.
My marriage was a success.
Yeah.
I look at it as like a curriculum when you're in college or high school, right? You're learning, you're growing, you're evolving, you're creating. And I was able to create with Corey some beautiful, amazing children. Mm-hmm. And at the end of that curriculum, and at the end, there's a graduation.
It's like, you know, we're seeing the after effects. And I really want to get into it because very recently, Mowry ended up posting this picture on her social media. And as you can see, it's kind of like a flirty picture. It has a man's hand around her neck or whatever. So kind of like making it seem like no face, no case. Like, this is my man. And, you know, I'm going to try to, you know, put this out there so people can assume or think whatever it is that they're thinking. And it was very quickly realized that the man in that photo was her makeup artist. So we're going to go ahead and get into all the details. I'm going to give you guys my thoughts, my feelings, and my opinions on this entire situation in the Mowry saga. So basically, as I said before, she posted that picture onto her Instagram story, and it was playing the Lloyd song You. And if you guys are unfamiliar with that song is, you know, very much like, you know, they don't got nothing on you, you know, I want you, like very much alluding to some kind of relationship dynamic. And, you know, so it was posted all over the blogs on social media, and quickly, you know, in the comment section, somebody instantly was like, that's her makeup artist. So then, you know, I personally clicked on the link and went to the makeup artist page, and you can clearly see that this is somebody who has a direct correlation with Mowry. Scrolling down on the social media, you see, you know, all the posts that are including her and what she has done her makeup. And then things take a turn when I not only realize that that's her makeup artist, but also the fact that that person is in a relationship. And the thing is, you guys, is it just gets to a point. Okay, it gets to a point of, you know, behavior that we have to call out, and it's just corny. Okay, I don't have any other way to say it. It is just a corny situation. You know, I just feel that Tia has been on this campaign of trying to, you know, find herself after divorce and having, you know, the identity detachment from her sister and just being in herself and finding out who she is, right? And I think everybody is aware of that. She even posted like this whole thread on her social media, basically saying those same things that I'm saying right now. She posted this thread on her social media, and it says, "Things I've learned in my 40s. Who am I if I'm not a wife? Who am I if I'm not a mom? Who am I if I'm not Tia from Sister Sister? After my divorce, I asked myself, who am I if I'm not a wife? Who am I if I'm not a mom? Who am I if I'm not Tia from Sister Sister? And for the first time, I finally answered, I'm me. For a long time, I was living a life that looked right on paper, house, marriage, kids, career, but I had to get really honest and ask, is this actually making me happy? Therapy helped me slow down. I stopped moving in my subconscious and started making conscious choices. Why do I behave this way? What do I really want? What do I do just for me? I used to think being strong meant pushing through everything. Now I know being strong means sitting in the grief, letting myself cry, and still trusting I will get through this. It's okay to explore my spirituality outside of what I was told faith had to look like, to ask questions, to be curious, and to build my own relationship with God in a way that feels true to me now. My 40s have been my rebellion era. Not wild and reckless, but quietly brave. Choosing my truth over expectations. Choosing what feels aligned, even when it surprises people. I spent most of my life worrying about the future, planning the next job, the next step, the next chapter. Now I'm finally learning how to live in the present, to actually feel my life while it is happening. I'm trying new things, meeting new people, allowing myself to explore. I'm not judging the fact that I'm different from who I was 20 years ago or even 3 years ago. The biggest thing I learned in my 40s is that peace is non-negotiable. I can love my kids, love my work, love my people, and still choose me. This is the version of me I am choosing now. So I think we're all aware that she's in her rebellion era. Okay? I think ever since she posted that clip on TikTok when she said that she was in her hoe phase.
I'm not ashamed to say it. I'm in my hoe phase right now. Happiness over everything. Where's your mind?
I think everybody knew. I think even the risque photos that she posts on social media, just like this one, and even the ones that I showed you guys that were in that thread, I think we're all aware that she is breaking the mold of everything that we thought that she was, and maybe even everything that she thought that she was. And so I want to be very clear, okay? Tia Mowry is a very attractive woman. I think she's very pretty. I think that she looks great, especially for, whatever age that she is. I think she'll give these young girls a run for their money. Okay? I think she looks very great. I really do. Just being genuinely honest. She looks fit. She looks, healthy, all that. No, not taken away from that at all. But I think there's a deeper rooted sense that we need to have a conversation about. And I think that as much as she's going through her own explorative journeys and she's doing her own things and she's on social media and parading around, presenting this happy and present lifestyle,
I do have a feeling and a sense of freedom following my divorce.
I think there are some things that we need to unpack. First of all, everything that she did with that makeup artist, photo with the hand on the neck, it completely reminds me of all the things that she has done on her social media in regards to Corey. Like, she knew the narratives out there were that the two of them had got back together and rekindled.
Rumor is Tia carried her ass back to the house. She got a purse. She put a purse up under here. She got water. She put her glasses on. And she said, open the door.
And she played into it. Right? She played into it by posting a plethora of pictures on social media and kind of making it seem like it was more than it was. And when people kind of found out that wasn't necessarily the truth, then she posted on social media the video of a questionnaire.
Goes down in the DM. Would you marry me if you knew me well? What the hell? What the hellianti? Are you interested in younger men like myself? How young we talking?
In my personal opinion, seemed very much, coordinated and thought about just so she can allude to that situation. Not necessarily because of the fact that people were actually asking these questions.
Not you outside again. I thought y'all were back together. Let's normalize co-parenting in a healthy way. Things don't always have to be toxic. But yeah, I'm outside.
And so I feel like everything still seems very, and just my personal opinion, I could be wrong, right? But everything seems very performative and for show. And to try to prove something, I don't know if she knew that people were going to know instantly that guy, that had that picture with her was actually her makeup artist. I don't know if she even thought that through fully, or if she was just trying to be funny or troll, whatever. But it just gives, I'm trying to prove to everybody that I'm just so happy after I made this decision that I'm still kind of unsure of. That's what I feel like. On her show, she had said so many things. She went through her ups and downs there, kind of going through the flow with friends. But she said that she still wants to actively be married.
I just feel like I have this beautiful house. I have a beautiful career. I have amazing kids. But the one thing that I don't have is love. And that's the one thing that I want more than anything.
So knowing that she's on her social media constantly talking about, all the plethora of people who are in her DMs.
There are like thousands of DMs here. There are athletes. There are musicians.
I still don't know if she feels that she is sitting in the right decision.
Don't want to be alone, So when I'm going through these challenges, sometimes you want to go back. The only person that I ever loved in my life was my ex.
Okay. And the problem is that when you are unsure, but you are making decisions as if you're sure, like, going on these dates and throwing yourself out there and kind of like I've always said, allowing certain people to throw Corey under the bus when they come on the show.
But I did know from the other side, if I might say, somebody else was dissatisfied because they weren't working.
No, I know you're absolutely
right.
right.
One partner makes more money or has more success. There's a gap that is so hard and it can't work out.
Yes.
And it can't have competition. It just does not work.
It changes how you're able to navigate that situation, in the sense that if you wanted to rekindle or if you wanted to fix things, if you wanted to, change things. And ironically enough, this is something that a lot of women do. A lot of women jump out there and make certain decisions when in actuality, all of that post that she said and all the, the plethora of posts that she's had from a long line from before all prove that the actual problem in that situation didn't seem like it stemmed from Corey, didn't seem like it stemmed from her marriage. It seemed like it stemmed from herself, her own thought process.
No, I've never dated.
That's right.
I've never dated. Corey was my first.
Right. Yes,
everything.
I know.
I wasn't even allowed to date until I was 18 years old. I met Corey when I turned 20, and I lost my virginity at 25. There, was that it?
And I want a lot of women out there to know just the other side of situations, right? Divorce is not always going to be the answer. Breaking up your relationship is not going to always be the answer. Sometimes that leads to you feeling, lost or confused or on shaky ground or regretful forever. I talked about it before where, a lot of women have the good, better, best mentality. And sometimes your husband is your best. But when you go through things, the ebbs and flows through life, through different situations, you believe that he is maybe your good and you're going to be able to find better out there.
How hard is it in the dating world now?
Oh my God. Last relationship when dating was, when I was, dating this person, it was beautiful. It was amazing. It was wonderful. There was courting that was, involved. And I was saying how I feel like that's no longer.
And then for a long time, for years, you end up trying to find, better than him. And what a lot of times ends up happening is that these women end up getting into relationships where they just settle. Because then reality hits them when they go out there in the dating world and men are treating them a certain way. They're like, wait a minute. I really had somebody who was down for me. I had somebody who loved me. I had somebody who was there for me through thick and thin.
At least I know Tia got my back, to the grave. So I know she's with me and she knows I'm with her. And that's just, everything's not perfect. Marriage is work.
And that's
marriage is work.
It
I'm
is.
not here.
Go ahead, sorry.
I'm not gonna be here like, everything is bro. You have to work hard, to stay married, and stay together.
So it's just like, it's a hurtful situation. And a lot of people, like I said before, believe that I have these conversations to gloat about the situation. And it's really not that. I genuinely have these conversations out of love because it's so sad to see women step out there. I've seen it so many times. Okay, I've seen it in real life. I've seen it on social media so many times where women step out there and make these permanent decisions because maybe they're influenced by their homegirls or whatever the situation is, and they stay regretful.
I hate when this stuff happens because it makes me feel like I've made a mistake.
A mistake of what?
Of getting a divorce.
Girl, die.
He's still in my heart, And just to think about someone else feels weird.
Sometimes it's a quiet regret. Sometimes it's a loud regret that's hidden behind, false smiles and trying to prove to everybody how happy you are when people who really know you can see that it's eating you up inside. I ended up going onto Corey's social media and I saw that he actually ended up posting this on his story in lieu of everything that was going on and Tia on the blogs with the man's arm and all that. So it's a clip that he had posted of a reel. And then this is what the actual reel says.
And you can't anticipate what I'm going to be like because there's mystique to my character. But that's kind of how I wanted it. You know what I'm saying? Without somebody being able to really know me and I got to go to all the events and all that type of shit. I don't really want to go to the events. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be at these spots with everybody, all the celebrities. And it's cool. But it's just ain't for me, you know what I'm saying?
And more that Corey does these things, when Tia does these things, it drives traffic to Corey's page because people want to see what his response is going to be. And more, it just shows that he seems to be the one that's cool, calm, and collected. And she seems the one to do things for other people. And this is just my opinion. I could be wrong. Okay, this is just my personal opinion. You know, it seems that a lot of the things that she does is out there for everybody else to as much as she says that she's in her rebellion era, it still seems like she still feels that she has stuff to prove to other people when she's out there, and he doesn't do it. Right? You can scroll through his social media. You don't see him having to post his wife or his ex-wife and his kids. And, you know, if he's moved on to a relationship, try to force everybody to see how happy he is. He does whatever he wants to do, beats to his own drum in real life. Everything she does is out there. And I know she's a public figure, but it just seems, like I said, very performative. Like she's still trying to prove things. Like she's still trying to prove she's happier after the divorce and that she's in this space. That's just my personal opinion. I just think it's corny. Okay. Whether she was, you know, trolling or trying to be funny, whatever, I don't know. And that's just my opinion. No shade at all. Just giving my personal opinion, especially for the purpose of other women who are on the brink of relationships to understand that not everybody leaves relationships and goes out there and is extremely happy and thriving and finds a better relationship and feels, you know, so amazing. Some people are out there in regret. I'm not saying she personally is. I'm just giving my opinion. Okay? Some people are out there in regret. Unhappy, still chasing waterfalls. I'd like to know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this entire situation. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. And I will see you guys in the next one. Love you.
Rivah TV.